If you've ever been called obsessed, delusional, or just a little bit too emotionally invested in a football club, this video is for you. Because what most people don't understand is that being an Arsenal fan isn't just about football. It's actually a window into something much deeper about who you are as a person. The way you love this club, the way you stay through the heartbreak, the way you argue passionately at 2 a.m. about a match that ended 3 days ago. None of that is weakness. In fact, psychology suggests it reveals something genuinely rare about your character. So today, we're going to explore the hidden psychology of Arsenal fans and the 6 unique traits that tend to define the people who bleed red and white. Number 1, you have an extraordinarily high tolerance for emotional pain. Let's be honest. Supporting Arsenal over the last 2 decades has not been easy. The near misses, the trophy droughts, the moments where victory felt so close you could almost taste it, only for it to slip away. And yet, you're still here. Psychology shows that individuals who continue investing emotionally in something despite repeated disappointment are actually demonstrating what researchers call emotional resilience. This is the ability to absorb pain, process it, and return stronger without completely shutting down. Most people protect themselves by detaching. They stop caring. They lower their expectations so they never have to feel the sting of loss. But you didn't do that. You kept caring. And while that might have cost you some sleep and a few phone screens over the years, it also means that in real life, when things get hard, you don't run. You stay. You endure. You come back. That is not a flaw. That is one of the rarest qualities a human being can have. Number 2, you have a deep capacity for loyalty. There's a certain type of person who only supports winners. They move from club to club, depending on who's lifting trophies that season. You're not that person. You chose Arsenal, and somewhere along the way, probably during a particularly painful 8-2 defeat or a last-day title collapse, you had every reason to walk away. But you didn't. Research in social psychology indicates that loyalty, true loyalty, is not about convenience. It's about identity. When you remain committed to something that isn't always rewarding you back, it means your values are deeper than your circumstances. This kind of loyalty doesn't stay on the pitch. It follows you into your friendships, your relationships, your career. People like you are the ones others can rely on. The ones who don't disappear when life gets complicated. In a world that increasingly runs on convenience and instant gratification, your loyalty is quietly extraordinary. Number 3, you are a natural optimist with an almost unshakable belief in potential. Every August, something happens to Arsenal fans. Something beautiful and slightly irrational. You look at the squad, you watch the preseason, and you think this is the year. This is genuinely our year. And yes, sometimes that belief has been brutally punished. But here's what psychology tells us about people who keep believing despite evidence to the contrary. They are not naive. They are future-oriented thinkers. Research suggests that optimism, even when it seems unrealistic, is one of the strongest predictors of long-term mental well-being and achievement. Optimistic people recover faster from setbacks. They take more chances. They build more meaningful lives because they haven't talked themselves out of trying. The fact that you can watch Arsenal concede a stoppage time equalizer on a Tuesday night and still genuinely believe in the project by Thursday morning means you have a relationship with hope that most people never develop. That is a psychological superpower. Number 4, you have a strong need for belonging and a gift for building community. Ask any Arsenal fan about the moment they truly felt part of something, and they'll probably describe a moment that had nothing to do with the trophy. It was a conversation with a stranger in a pub, a shared groan with someone sitting next to them in the stadium, a thread online where everyone was equally heartbroken at 3 in the morning. Psychology shows that humans are fundamentally tribal, and the need to belong to something larger than ourselves is one of our most powerful drives. But not everyone finds it. Some people go their whole lives feeling slightly outside of every group they join. Arsenal fans tend to find each other deeply and quickly because the shared experience of this club creates an unusually strong emotional bond. If you feel this, it means you are someone who genuinely values human connection. You're not just looking for people to celebrate with. You want people to go through things with. And that kind of depth in your relationships is something truly special. Number 5, you have a highly developed sense of identity and self-awareness. Being an Arsenal fan in certain social circles requires something that a lot of people never build, which is the ability to hold your identity firmly even when it's being challenged. When people mock the club, when pundits write you off, when a broader football conversation dismisses what you believe in, you don't abandon who you are. Research in identity psychology suggests that people with strong affiliations, whether to a football club, a culture, or a community, tend to have a more stable and integrated sense of self. They know who they are. They're less likely to be swept up by trends or to change their values to fit the room. This means that in your own life, you probably have a clarity about your values and your identity that others around you might quietly envy. You know what you stand for. And even when the world disagrees with you, you can sit with that discomfort without losing yourself. Number 6, you understand that beauty matters more than just winning. This one is perhaps the most unique thing about Arsenal fans. Even during the hard years, even when the trophies weren't coming, there was always this shared belief that how you play matters, that there's a right way to do things, that style and integrity and the pursuit of something beautiful have a value that a dirty last-minute winner can't fully replace. Psychology research on aesthetics and values suggests that people who care about process, not just outcome, tend to be more creative, more principled, and more fulfilled over the long term. Because when winning is your only metric, you're always one bad result away from feeling worthless. But when you care about how you do things, about the craft, the effort, the principles behind the performance, you carry something more durable. Arsenal fans understand, perhaps better than supporters of any other club, that there is something worth admiring in a team that tries to do it the right way. And that belief, that insistence on beauty alongside success, says something profound about your character. So here is what all of this means. If you're an Arsenal fan, you are not simply a supporter of a football club. You are someone who endures, someone who stays loyal when leaving would be easier, someone who chooses hope again and again, even when the data doesn't support it, someone who builds real community, holds a strong identity, and refuses to reduce everything down to a simple win-loss column. These are not small things. These are the kinds of qualities that shape lives, build relationships, and carry people through the hardest chapters of their story. The world needs more people who are built the way you are built. If this resonated with you, take a moment and think about which of these 6 traits you recognize most strongly in yourself. Because understanding your own psychology is one of the most powerful things you can do for your growth, your relationships, and your peace of mind. And if you want more content like this, content that helps you understand yourself more deeply and see your own traits in a new light, subscribe to this channel. We explore the hidden psychology behind the way people feel, think, and connect. And there's always something here for people who are willing to look a little deeper.